This is the Catch Up Network.
Unlock the secrets to mastering your short game with expert insights into wedging techniques. Discover how understanding bounce and club face dynamics can transform your shots, enhancing control and precision on the green. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to the game, this guide offers valuable tips to elevate your performance.
Shaky start to the beginning of
The initial segment of the video reflects the common challenges faced during the setup of live broadcasting, highlighting the importance of technical readiness in ensuring a smooth presentation. Such issues, although minor, can affect the audience's initial perception and engagement with the content. This brief invitation to the audience signifies an interactive approach, encouraging viewer engagement and participation. It underscores the value of audience involvement in educational content, enhancing learning through direct interaction.
So we got Phillip on camera.
Introducing Phillip adds a personal touch and establishes a collaborative dynamic. This can increase the authenticity of the session, providing diverse perspectives and potentially enriching the instructional content with varied expertise.
We're outside, and he'll field questions as we see.
The outdoor setting is particularly relevant for golf instruction as it mimics real-world conditions. Engaging with the environment can enhance the practical understanding of the techniques discussed, as learners can visualize and contextualize the application of skills.
I may chip a few at his face just to kind of show you guys some stuff as we get the camera lighting a little bit better. So Phil will just have to manage the fact if anybody's here, if we can hear me. Make sure that mic is on. Make sure that green button is lit. We good? Is it showing numbers on the screen?
Yes.
All right, we're good. So today we're talking wedging. I had a couple questions about bounce. Does it matter? How to use it, things like that. So our green's actually this way. I'm not left-handed, so when I go to hit one, we'll flip it around with Phillip. But the bounce has a couple of different features to it, right? So when you look at it, mine's a little dirty because I was out here just goofing off, right? There's a width and then a camber to it as it goes back, and that's usually we start to see the grind change. Pretty much every tour player hates the stuff back here, right? That's the main area where we used to grind it back when I was doing a lot of that stuff. You grind a lot of that heel relief out of the way. Nike made a big toe swoop where the toe's a lot fatter out there just to give you some more bounce. And the reason for that is like the heel's the death trap. It'll catch it, shut the face down, make it have less loft, put the leading edge into the ground and cause you to dig and chunk it or scull it, right? So basically the things you want to try to do is like understand that when you are going to hit a wedge shot, it wants to be open, right? So if I set my golf club straight down and just let it go and rest on my hand, the face wants to open up, right? It doesn't really have a lot of encouragement to go forward until my handle starts to go forward, right? So as it just sits with the handle straight, the face will twist open. As I press the handle forward, that's when it starts to twist shut, right? So you have to be careful with that when you're going into wedging, is that it's not the natural state for the golf club to go like this, right? It wants to have the toe fall backwards. So that's something to kind of understand, right? And then bounce, the easiest way to look at it is if you took bounce and went the leading edge from my back of my hand, that's your that's not really the bounce degree, but that's a good way of representing what bounce is, right? The space between the two. So keeping that in mind, right? When you go to hit pit shots, when you see people hitting all these like little chili chunks, it's usually from that leading edge catching a little bit and digging a little bit, right? So main thing that we want to see is a lot of times in short game is we want to see the club head get a little toe up so the face gets open, keep the bounce to the ground as we go through the follow through, right? So then depending on the shot you're trying to hit, right, is how much you let the face close or how much you extend the shot farther or closer to your body. You can start having a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, you still want that bounce to be open. That's going to help increase RPMs, help increase the drop and stop action because of that, right? And put a little more friction on the face on a shorter shot. So some of the key things to remember is when you get set, right, you don't want to have necessarily the golf ball off your right toe, right? Usually try and keep it middle-ish or just slightly middle back, but we don't want it like outside your stance way back here because that's just going to promote a lot of shaft lean, right? That's going to make the bounce stuff a lot harder. So we get it set more middle. here, right? And then as we take it through, you want to try to maintain the face to the sky or the face still looking at you, because again, that face closing puts the bounce into the ground, or the leading edge into the ground again, causing issues with bounce, right? So you have face open at address slightly, doesn't have to be a lot. Handle pretty neutral at address, pretty straight up and down, doesn't need a lot of press, right? And then as you take that shot through, keep the face looking at you, and it should be pretty simple, right? And right now, one of my buddies, Mr. Sutton, Jason Sutton, has his son playing college golf, chipping one-handed with his right hand, because that right hand kind of dictates a lot of it. Now, some of you are left-handed players that are golfing right-handed, right? So it might be a harder drill for you, but you can take the club back, let the face open, and keep that face looking at you. That club face should always remain open, and it should be a nice little skid, right? And as long as you got the face open, bouncing into the ground, it can kind of thump on the turf as hard as you want and not have to worry about dig and that factor, right? So things to consider in that arena is like chipping with one hand is a really good feel for a shot, because it allows you to get that bounce open and pointing it to the ground here, maintain it that way by keeping your hand underneath, right? Now, some of the common mistakes I see, right, is a player will take the club a little bit too far inside. That gets a little trappy, gets a little hard to control the amount of takeoff, and players have too much loft at the hit. Part of the factor that we have to deal with in wedging is that you're not compressing the ball like a driver. You're compressing it like if you had a beach ball, spinning it on top of the ball, right? On top of the water, that is, sorry, spinning this outside of the ball is like a short game shot. You don't want to push it underwater. So to get a lot of spin, you got to generate a lot of club head speed. Well, if you generate a lot of club head speed and have a lot of lean, deal off the face, the ball goes far. We all know that. So we got to get a lot of club head speed with a lot of loft and losing that battle a little bit, so we generate a lot of spin, right? And so to do that, there's a lot to do with the face and where the club's traveling. So this is where turn kind of comes into play. And what I tell a lot of guys, like if you're my chicken winger, like this is your field day, because ripping that left elbow back allows for a little bit of extra rotation and a little bit of extra spinach. So you can really kind of nuke one with some RPMs. That almost came backward off the cart path, actually, on the first hop. That was pretty cool. That chip away from the green. But the goal here is like, you don't really want to like extend and roll the follow through when you're trying to hit a flop shot, right? Or a pit shot. You want to take that bounce, I call it parking it in your pocket, keep the grip in your pocket as you finish, and keep that bounce looking to the ground, the club face looking to the sky, should produce some RPMs, right? So Phillip didn't yell at me saying that there was any questions coming through on the old comment thread, but that was one of the big ticket items that people were asking me. The other question was like, how much bounce, what bounce is good for me? Depends on your player profile, right? Depends on the style. If you have a really steep angle of approach, those wider cambered clubs usually are pretty good to help kind of skip you through. If you're a little more shallow and you're more of a picker, you don't want that because it might bounce you too much off the ground. Conditions play a big factor of that too. If you play really soft, fluffy fairways, you can kind of do whatever you want. If you play tight Bermuda fairways, it might be a little harder to get those big soled clubs through that turf before it skips out of the way if you're not good at soling the club in the right spot. If you play fluffy bunkers versus hard compact bunkers, that affects the bounce you should play. So usually what players will do that aren't on TV is you can mix and match your bounces. So you usually have a little less bounce in your gap wedge and maybe a lot of bounce in your sand wedge and medium bounce in your lob wedge, something like that. You can kind of mix it around however you see fit, off of whatever you like. I kind of keep a middle bounce, like this is 11 and so is my lob wedge. Pretty middle of the road, nothing crazy like 14, but also not very low like a 6 or an 8. I like a lot of bounce, so usually I go to that more bounce, thicker side anyways. It's just my player preference, but it's up to you and whatever you like. So actually this is my lob wedge, that has 58, so my 54 and my 58 have 11. But, you know, like my wedge says, the world needs ditch diggers too, so don't be afraid to take a little pellet or two, right? And the main thing with wedging is get creative. You know, use that. You either use multiple clubs to create different shots or take that one club and create different shots with that one club and see how the ball responds, see how it reacts when it lands on the green, what creates a shot that hits and rolls, what creates a shot that goes up, and mix and match that around, right? So short live today as I got things going on this afternoon, but I hope those answered your questions, and I look forward to sharing with you guys later some more of these great tips. As we wrap this up, make sure you like and comment below. We're doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock Central Time, and I'll see you guys next week. Out. Yep, hit the X.
This extensive section delves into the complexities of golf wedging, emphasizing the technical nuances of balance, bounce, and club positioning. The discussion on bounce highlights its critical role in shot accuracy and control, particularly in varied course conditions. The analysis of clubhead speed and face orientation reflects advanced strategic considerations essential for optimizing shot performance. Furthermore, the differentiation between player profiles and their impact on equipment selection underscores the personalized nature of golf strategy, aligning with current trends in custom club fitting. Thanks for watching, and of course, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe below. But don't stop there. Start making videos like this for your own channel. Click the link in our bio to get started.